chicken parmigiana. It's a pub classic, but I love making a vegetarian version, which is eggplant parmigiana. But when I added ricotta and basil pesto, Harriet went nuts for it. So speaking of nuts, I'm gonna toast some almonds. I'm toasting the almonds in the oven because we're going to bake the eggplant instead of frying it, making eggplant steaks. First step is to just slice it in half lengthwise. And then you want to just cut off the rounded edge. Then cut this half into half again, so that it can sit flat on the oven tray when we bake them. Just chop side cheeks and just into small chunks, and then we can add it to the sauce. They smell ready, nice and golden. The almonds add a really nice texture on the top. Next step is to crumb the eggplant steaks. Take them over to the crumbing station. If you're trying to get around the idea of eggplant, especially for kids, crumbing them is a really good start because they're nice and crunchy on the outside and soft and pillowy on the inside. Really good way to introduce it. Okay, so I have my 3 stations set up: flour, beaten eggs, and some breadcrumbs. And I want to leave the skin exposed and just dust the top and the bottom because it looks really pretty. We have a family policy in our house. Harriet wasn't too keen on trying pesto with the ricotta, and I said, just need to try 1 bite, and if you don't like it, you don't have to eat any more of it. And before I knew it, she'd gobbled it all up. And so that's what we do, and it works really well. She surprises herself. Marley Spoon is a saviour midweek. It's good to have all of the ingredients delivered to your door, but it also allows us to try new dishes that I wouldn't even think about cooking. The cleverest thing about this recipe is you can just throw it into the oven and kind of forget about it because you don't have to worry about the eggplant soaking up so much oil on the stove top or anything like that. And salt and pepper. So I have the oven preheated to 210 degrees. I'm just going to pop these in for about 20 minutes or until nice and golden and tender. All right, so while that's cooking away, just start on the sauce. Just turn it onto a medium heat. Any good Parmi has to have a good sauce. About a tablespoon of oil. Finely chop an onion. Easiest way for me to chop an onion is to work my way across the onion, but I don't cut all the way through. And then I just make a couple of other incisions from the top on an angle. Again, not all the way through. And then I just cut the opposite direction of what I've already cut. And then finely chopped onion. Sometimes I crush garlic, but most of the time I just chop it. Some people say that crushing it bruises it. Get that into the pan, the oil is nice and hot. So I'm adding the eggplant now because I want that to be nice and soft and tender in the sauce because it doesn't have too long to cook. And then I have some fresh tomato powder, which really adds this wonderful tomato burst. If you don't have any, you can add tomato paste. Just gives the sauce a bit of freshness and richness as well. And I'm going to season with salt and pepper from the start, just to unlock the flavours. Okay, so that's been cooking away for 4 minutes and it's nice and softened, ready for some sauce. So I just have some tinned tomatoes, some red wine vinegar, and a pinch of sugar. You don't have to add sugar, but tinned tomatoes are quite acidic, so I just like to add some for balancing out the flavours. Now that just needs to do its thing for about 6 minutes. The eggplant's still cooking. Better go and see what the kids are up to. Okay, so they haven't killed each other yet. Let's add the ricotta. A couple of mounds in there so I can just get to know the sauce and heat it up in the pan. This is instead of some grated tasty cheese. Pop the lid on. I'm just going to drain some baby spinach. Dinner is pretty much ready to eat. Very nice. Wow, that smells so good. Just put a bit of sauce on the plate and then a couple of even pieces. Then I just put a mound of ricotta on top, towering. Now this recipe has 3 serves of veg in it, plus it's a really good source of fibre. And even though it's vegetarian, it's a good source of iron too. And now for the basil pesto. Leave your soggy chicken parmy at the pub. I'll take this version any day of the week. My eggplant parmigiana with ricotta and pesto.